Hi everybody, it's Monday morning again, and I'm back with my By the Sea album. I'm pretty well finished with it, so I want you to take a look at it with me. First of all, I put some fibers that I have just, some baggies of just random fibers, and actually I think I got these in a bundle from eBay at one point, and I got it several years ago and still got lots left. So if you can find something like that, and then it's really economical. So I cut a few pieces off that I thought would match my colors here and tied them onto my rings. And then on two of these I also, maybe can't find them anymore. There they are. Okay, so I also tied some starfish that I got. I think I got these at Michael's or Tuesday Morning or something like that, and I thought there was one on here too, but maybe I've lost it. So anyway, you can tie some things onto your fibers to make that interesting as well. So I added some more shells. I have a little thing of shells that I got. It's from Prima, and it's got a nice assortment, larger and smaller. So I took my Glossy Accents, my all-purpose glue for heavy things, and glued 3 of those on here along with my sand dollars. And I also had a couple of brass charms that I got from C.D. Woods, Chris Hoy, and so I glued one of those on there next to this lighthouse, maybe for a little bit of distance perspective and a little bit of metal. I always like to have some natural elements, some paper elements, some inking, and some metal in my compositions. So there's my metal on this page. So then I open it up, and I decided to put my sand on every page. So I've got a little bit of sand down here, got some more shells. I put one of the tags and pockets on up here. Room for a photo. On this page is a little less embellishment, so you can have a bigger photo. And this page I have my sand, and I have my sand in the corner here, and I use some of the chipboard tags and another brass starfish charm because the paper is starfish. Here's this chipboard tag. Here's part of one of the border pages in the 8x8 paper pad. Here's another chipboard embellishment. Now there's not really room for a photo on this page unless you maybe want to put a journal tag down here or something, but there's room over here. So again, here's the other half of that border page, and I put these stamps that I cut out on some foam tape. Here's my sand up here, room for a photo there, lots of room for a photo here. And this is what I thought was cool. I got my sand here, and these little things that I have here as bubbles, I hope you can see those. They're just little acrylic circles that I got at Michael's in the floral shop, and they're used to put in the bottom of planters and stuff like that. So they make a perfect bubble because they have this little indent in them in the back, and it makes it look like a bubble within a bubble. So I glued those all the way down the edge of the page, and lots of room for a photo here. And another page, there's my sand, lots of room for a photo. This says make a splash, pointing towards where your photo would be. I used some raffia ribbon on all of my chipboard tags that had a hole in them, just like right here too. There's another chipboard tag. Here's another brass charm that I had, and these were only like 10 cents a piece from C.D. Woods. Here's my sand under here, lots of room for a photo. Here's another page, lots of room for a photo. Here's my sand, and this looks like a postcard. Now here's my favorite page of all. I have had this netting for 3 or 4 years, I think. Been wanting to use it on something, so this was the perfect thing. So I took it and I put Glossy Accents on the knots, and the way I did this was I put it on these knots here, and I held it down, held onto it till it tacked up, and then I spread it a little and put glue on the next row of knots, held that down, and then spread it some more, and did it that way, piece by piece. So it was a lot easier, a little more time consuming, but a lot easier to get it to spread the way I wanted it to and to hold down. Some more of those acrylic circles in here for bubbles. And then this is a bottle. I think it's from Seven Gypsies, and it's corked. And I believe that I don't think I glued the cork in. No, I didn't. So, and then I put in there, I cut a little piece of this Graphic 45 paper that had some script on it, and rolled it up and put it inside my bottle and glued it to my net. So this, I really like this page best. I thought it was pretty cool. So the next page, and you know, this makes it so that it doesn't close real tight, but you know, this isn't going to be a closed up book anyway. It's thick, so just, you know, I only put one thick embellishment like that in here. I could have put some more shells and stuff, but I decided a little dimension is good, a lot is too much. So here's another good page for a photo. Swim Little Fishy. This is on foam tape. Here's another chipboard piece. And room for a photo here, and here's another tag and pocket where you can put some journaling in. On this one is some chipboard buttons. Here's my sand again. A couple of chipboard elements, lots of room in here for pictures. And then this page again is a chipboard, but you can write maybe some information about a picture you'd put here. There's another brass starfish charm and my sand. And then the back page, I wanted a little bit of dimension on there, but not a whole lot. So I took, let me grab the die. I used Tim Holtz's Movers and Shapers Seahorse and Sand Dollar dies, and cut this, and I used the crackled coordinations paper, and I cut it out in 3 colors that went along with my color scheme. And then this one, these two are out of, it's supposed to be the white, but they're kind of a sand color, and the nice crackle finish shows up on there without me having to do anything to it. It's just plain the plain paper, but I did edge it in chipped sapphire and fired brick, and I believe in brushed corduroy. And this one is edged in chipped sapphire. And then put a little pure 45, and they can put a date or something there if they like. And these are popped up on, first, let's see, the red one is glued straight to the burlap. The second one is on a fairly low profile, I think it's on foam tape, and this one is on a thicker pop-up so that we have some dimension there. So that's my By the Sea album. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I think that it's going to make somebody very happy. Oh, okay, there, I finally found my other starfish. So I have 2 starfish on here. Okay, I only had 2 gold ones, so I only put it on the first 2. If I would have had another one, I would have put it here, but the other one I have is kind of a silver, so I wanted to stay with the gold and the brass. So that's okay, it doesn't need that 3rd one. So I want to show you, now you know that I was using sand made by Malibu Beach Mud Puddles, but if you can't find that, you can make your own, and Tim Holtz has a formula for that, and we're going to make it right here real quick. And I'm also going to leave you a link to the page where Tim explains what to use and how to use it. So the first thing that I'm going to need is some clear UD, that's ultra thick embossing powder. There it is, ultra thick embossing enamel in clear, and I have some here in a plastic container because it's just easier to keep this with the rest of my powders. And I have a little spoon, and I have a little medicine cup. So I'm going to put some in there, kind of enough to cover the bottom. This is kind of a smaller cup than he was using or that I used to begin with, but just about that much that I just showed you. It's about this much in the palm of your hand, not a lot. Okay, so going to put that on in. Then you're going to take some antique linen distress embossing powder, and then you're going to put in there enough to cover over the UD that you just put in. Not quite a whole spoonful of that, not quite half a teaspoon, I would say. Then you want to take some black soot distress embossing powder and just a tiny bit to sprinkle in for some contrast, just barely. Okay? Then we're going to take antique linen distress glitter. We're going to put about a spoonful of that in, enough again to cover what we've already done. And you see there's not very much in this cup, but you know, you want to not make a whole lot at a time as well. I was able to cover mine in a little plastic jar and keep it fairly moist for a while, but this now has kind of solidified, so I'll need to throw that away. So you don't want to make a whole lot at a time. Try to make only really what you'll use in this session, or maybe within a day or two, so that you don't make so much and then end up wasting all your resources. Okay, so got that on. Now we're going to take our glossy accents and we're going to dump a healthy squeeze of it in there. And I pretty much just kind of like, again, cover the pile of stuff that you got in there already. So I see that, I hope. Alright, then take a toothpick, here's a shish kebab stick, take some chopsticks, and then you want to just stir it up. Now the glossy accents in here makes this self-adherent, but if you want to help yourself along and make things easier, then you want to go ahead and put some glossy accents down on the area where you are applying your sand. And let's just go ahead and put a little bit more here in my album to show you. Okay, it's kind of gloppy, it doesn't really run out, but you don't want to turn it upside down. Okay, so I'm going to put just a little bit of glossy accents here and there. Now this is the sand that is the Malibu sand that's on there already, but I'm adding my sand that I just made to it. So I'm just going to take my skewer here and just add to it. Just a little bit different look, but still very, very much like sand. Very good. So it's a really good formula. It gets the job done. Looks very realistic, very dimensional. And you put that on and you give it time for that glossy accents in it to dry, and it's pretty permanent. Real quick, real easy. You want to assemble your ingredients, your embossing powders and your UT and your glossy accents before you start mixing, because you want to do this quickly. So that's all you need to do, and then let it dry. And now I do have some left over, so I'm going to go ahead and scrape this off into my container. One thing that does help to keep this wet and usable is you can put either some saran wrap across the top of the opening and then screw your lid on, or you can enclose the entire thing in an airtight baggie, and that always helps. Okay, so I have enough in there for several projects, and I don't have some saran wrap right here, so what I'll be doing is sealing this into a plastic baggie. Grab one of those real quick. I think this one is sitting around, has some paint on it, but that doesn't matter. So I've got my lid squeezed on tight. Put it in my baggie. Then before I completely seal it, I want to push down, maybe even fold it up and push all of the air out of that baggie, and then finish sealing it. And that should last for you for quite a while. And then you can just, if you quickly rinse this out, you can reuse your little mixing cup. So that's my Monday musings for today, and I hope you like my album, and I hope that you will try to make some sand, because it's fun to use and fun to make. And I will see you next Monday, and I hope you all have a really great week. Bye.